The stream is live.
Yes, I believe the stream is live right now. Thank you, everybody, for being once again on the V Experiment. And I'm going to, yeah, I've heard everything. I do the sound check myself because I'm at home enjoying my orange juice because it's afternoon here in Greece. And thank you for being with us. Today we are going to have a very, very special guest, which is going to help us understand how much the importance of your own name and on your own brand. Christina, how are you?
Thank you so much, Kyriakos, for having me, and thank you so much all for joining. And I'm very excited to be here today and to share with you, the things that I've learned, the things that I've learned from my journey, the things that I've learned from my clients' journey, because personal branding is for everyone. So I hope you are going to enjoy. You are going to enjoy it.
I don't hope. I know that everybody's going to enjoy it because everybody loves speaking about themselves, and nobody knows how to brand themselves. And you're here to explain to us what exactly is it that you are doing. Let's start with this: who you are, and then I'm coming with another question. Who are you?
Well, I am a girl who is in business since not very long time ago. I actually come from corporate. So my story goes from a couple of years ago when I finished my university degree, and then I decided to go into corporate to follow the traditional path and to build my path there, only to realize some years after that that it's not as easy and good and actually flexible. For me, flexibility was the most important part. I've moved countries 3 times in my life, and every time I needed to start over. And it wasn't easy, right? Plus, what I saw is that people dedicate 10 plus years to one company only to realize some years after that that they're not being valued or they're being already fired because their boss changed, for example. So after seeing all that, I wasn't so excited anymore to build my career the normal way. And before another turn in my life, I actually decided to start my own business. So that's how PB Founding was born. And that's the root of my story, right?
That's very, very, very interesting. And you have to give me just 1 second because I just noticed that fantastic. That LinkedIn is not playing.
No?
It could be that I'm mistaken. Yes. No.
Now
Now,
it works?
yeah, everything is working. Sorry, it's the technical issues that we have. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Now, where are you from? Let's start with this. What were your studies?
Yes. So I was born in Russia, but I grew up in England in the international boarding school. This is where I finished my studies. And yeah, I was grown up in a very, very international society, had friends from all over Europe, all over the world, actually. And that's what is also helping me so much now when I work with different clients. I don't just work with certain people from like certain country. I do operate remotely mostly, and I do work with clients from all over the world. So the fact that I had this upbringing is helping me a lot now also because personal branding, right? We talk about business, we talk about marketing, but there's so much personality behind it, of course. That's the whole core of it. And culture plays a huge role. So yeah, that is my upbringing. And yes, and I'm currently in Germany. Currently, right?
Currently. That's very good. What was the reason? What were you thinking when you decided to make your company? And how's your company named?
Yeah, so my company is called PB Founding. And actually, I've gotten some already feedback that in English, PB founding, it sounds a little bit like not because you say foundation. But for me, I associate the word founding with like a founder. So when I came up with the name, it was that when you start your personal brand, you found it, right? Like a business. And this is where I help and I do the services. I help a person right at the beginning, so before they start going online. So now I've expanded, like I've expanded and I offer all the different kinds of services. But when I was just starting, this is where I was focusing on working on preparing the person to come online. So we would work on the psychology part of things, on the business strategy, until that part, and like figure out also the social media part. And this is where our client work, for example, would stop before they would go and start their social media journey. Whilst now I've expanded and I offer all the different kind of things, but that is how the name was born. And the reason that I started this direction is because when I was working, I told you I was working in corporate in all the different in several countries, and I've changed so many departments. I've worked in finance, I worked in business analytics, I worked in procurement, in brand ambassadorships, in sales, in product management, and in consulting a little bit. So after all these experiences, parallel, it wasn't enough for me. Like it was not enough for me. I had the energy to constantly do all the different things with social media on the side. So I had my pages, I had pages for somebody else that I was doing on Instagram, on YouTube. And I just like creating content. I was also creating all the different digital products and videos. And yeah, that was my passion, it was my hobby. So when I was thinking to start my own thing, I literally like sat at my home and I was thinking, okay, what shall I do? What direction shall I go? And I was thinking, okay, so I've worked in corporate. I've changed so many departments. I know very well how the corporate world works and how the business operates because I've had an experience in all the different departments. And parallel, I've always created content as a hobby. And since personal branding is a huge theme, that was exactly the my starting point, right? I was at the Tony Robbins Festival last year, and he spoke about the future of all businesses and how the future of all businesses lies in personal brands, because people buy from people, right? People buy from people they trust, and personal branding is your way to build this trust online, publicly, to get the feedback from it, to grow exponentially. And it's basically your reputation, only now it can be amplified by the power of social media, right? So when I heard him speaking, I was like, that is a huge market. Plus, we're living in the booming creator economy, right? It's been growing very, very much in the last years, and it's now projected to double in the next 3 years, like the official statistic shows us. So personal branding is for everyone, and the earlier you start, the better. And this is why I started with my business, because I know how the business functions. I worked in corporate, and I love creating content on the side. I know I've had all the experiences in social media, and personal branding just hit for me. I was like, I need to start it. I need to start it. That's definitely my thing. So that's when I was just starting. Yeah.
Okay, everything is if you start something new, it's overwhelming. It's you are enthusiastic about it, but what was the first thing that came to mind when you talked with your first customers?
Customers or sales calls? Like customers, I mean
Yeah,
clients
yeah,
or.
it's the word. It's the word. Sales calls. Let's call it them sales calls.
Well, I have a funny story to say. On the first day, when I literally, like, I've prepared everything I needed to start my business, the website, all the services. I've created a program and the how I would work with my clients and etc. And then at some point, I was like, I'm launching publicly, I'm posting about it, I'm starting on LinkedIn, that was right. I had 500 connections at that point. And on the first day, I was like, okay, I posted, I launched, okay, now let's go, let's make some sales. And I started DMing everybody I know and also new people, right? And there was one person who literally was very interested in what I sent him. And he directly asked me, it was literally, it was the first or the second day. And he directly asked me, so tell me, how long have you been doing this? Can you send me some references? I'm really interested in working with you. And I could also, I could also come up with like fake reviews. I could also send him, I don't know what. But I was just like, no, we gotta do it right. I'm just starting. We gotta do it right. So I answered him and I was like, well, it's my second day DMing, cold outreaching people. So I haven't had any clients, and you are one of the first 25 people I'm reaching out. So I'm really sorry, I can't provide you with anything. And he is an important person, let's say it like that. And after that, he didn't reply. But I'm pretty sure one day he will work with me. I need to reach out
Okay.
to him again.
Ah, everything is a marketing trick. Everything is, as you say, the branding. You can send him now the recommendations from others,
Yeah.
your reviews, and you can send it. Is it right now? Is the time right now? And you can ask something if you want. If you want to get him as a customer or as a, I don't know. Customer is a very, it's a word that a lot of people dislike because the customer is always right. Let's start with this. It's not only in Greece; it's everywhere. The customer is always right. The customer is king. The customer is something else. But if you have to do with the people, with their lives, where do you find the most struggle? People coming to you and say, "Okay, what do I have to do?" What are their concerns about how they should promote themselves?
Oh, you mean the clients that the problems that there's so many problems that they're struggling actually. So there's a big aspect in terms of the feedback, right? And in terms of the timing. I think these two are the biggest challenges that I've faced, that my clients are facing, that I've faced talking to them, is that first of all, they are not sure, because I'm working with business people, right? So they're not sure how to show themselves in a way that will not damage their business and will not make them look funny, for example, right? That's one part. And also the confidence part, right? What if I post tomorrow? What if I start posting and then nobody likes my post? Which I always say that's totally normal at the beginning, usually, right? Depending on how many connections you have, depending on how good you are at networking, for example, in real life. And yeah, that's one part which a lot of people find scary, the feedback part and this whole publicity part, right? When they have such a big reputation in their company, in real life, when it comes to posting, right? How do you present yourself in a way that is professional, that is not damaging their reputation, etc. And here's, for example, where there's a big distinction that you can have a very authentic, totally transparent brand, which is very famous, for example, amongst creators, amongst people who are coming not directly from the corporate world, I would say, but when it comes to the corporate and also entrepreneurial world, not because, for example, people who own several businesses, right? You want to, there is a term called control personal brand. So you do want to be authentic, but you don't necessarily need to, overexpose yourself online. So there's a fine line between those two, right? And the second part, which is very common, is the timing part. So they do not have the time to create their own content. And here's, for example, where all the copywriting is also a problem, because they don't want to somebody else to write their posts, because they have this thinking inside their heads that it's me. I should be sharing what I have to say. But because have not, they do not come from the creative world and from the writing world, right? From the blogging world. They don't know how to start. Or for example, when they start writing, then they spend 3 hours to write 7 LinkedIn posts. So there's yeah, there are a lot of challenges on this part on this part.
Yeah, I believe biology is a very similar thing in every nationality. It's about being, as I told you offline, it's about being in charge of everything. I should do my writing because I'm the one. I should. Actually, that's why we have people that tell us what to do. It's in every level. There are people that can tell us, you, for example, you should do this in order to achieve that. It's so simple. But it's psychology that plays the most part because everybody wants to be in charge. And everybody is afraid of, I believe, that's my opinion. Everybody believes that if I'm not in charge, if I give away my power, then I'm weak. I've been on social media the last 2.5 years. For the rest 44 years that I've lived, and more. You're going to be funny. You're going to make bloopers. You're going to make everything, and that's what I'm telling everybody. And I want to ask you. You told me it's about more about they're afraid of controlling everything. It could be that I misunderstood, but let me rephrase. Is it the most important thing being afraid of public speaking or of public humiliation or public something with your customers?
Um, Not necessarily, right? Public speaking is not necessarily the biggest problem, but more on how to show your brand, how to translate your story in a way that will be professional enough, at the same time authentic enough, that will show their personality without mixing in too many private things. So there's a lot of this. How do you do your content? Because when you have a very high reputation, when you have worked in very prestigious companies, this is where your reputation is so important for you. And just by saying something stupid, you can literally ruin it with one post. So you do want to think twice, right? How to show yourself online. And this is, for example, where I concentrate. This is where I started, right? When I started my business, I saw there's a huge gap in personal branding and marketing, in a way that what is there on the market? What do people do? Marketing agencies have existed for a very long time. And what they do, they create content on their side, right? So they work parallel with the business. Usually, right, they started it for the business. Nowadays, they do it also for personal branding for a person. But what I found is that they just do posting, a lot of posting based on, for example, what works on the social media, what went viral. For example, on Instagram, right? There's a huge part of it. You create content that went viral so that you have a likelihood to, when you repeat it, the algorithm knows it.
Repeat it.
It went
Yes.
viral. Yeah, yeah. So you recreate it. But for example, what they do not focus on, and this is where I started, right? When I just started, I thought that there is a gap, that there is no strategy behind that. So there's a strategy, the content strategy, where we plan how to go viral, which posts to post, which topics, and etc. But what I do, I work with the person firstly. So I firstly work with him from the psychology part. I studied psychology in college. So this is where I think a lot, I mean, business is all a lot about psychology. We are dealing with
Everything.
people,
Everything is
everything.
about psychology.
Yes, you understand me. So this is where we spend as well a good amount of time, where we work through the psychology part of personal branding. Then we look at the business part of branding. So what is it that the person has in terms of, is he from corporate? Is he from, like, does he have his own business? What are the products that he's offering? What are the business current goals? Are we looking to increase revenue? Are we looking to increase brand awareness? Do we actually want to start a new business with this whole personal branding and totally ignore the business that he's doing now, right? Not put it under the spotlight. So this is my way of working is, we first look at the psychology part of things with the person, then we look at the business part with the person, the business strategy, and then we figure out the marketing. So the marketing persona profile and the content strategy, the content creation, the tools needed to work on this, and etc. But the right at the start, the psychology is, and the business is
Yeah,
where a lot of attention is put.
I'm going to tell this one. You don't need to agree with me. It depends on how narcissistic somebody is in order to be in front, and because there are people that love exposure and there are people that are very, very shy about it. And it depends on what kind of a person you are.
Yes, absolutely. That part is a big one, but also, for example, for shy people, right? What do we want to start with? We want to start with the content where he mostly enjoys with. So, for example, if he is good at speaking, we can start with videos. If he's good at writing, we can start with writing. If he's more good at like talking with others, we can start with podcasts. So there's an approach for everybody. But for example, from the psychology part of things, I mean the deep psychology. So what are the values of the person? Where does he see his life in 5 years? Because personal branding is a very long-term project. Let's say it's a life project. We don't want to speak about life, but it's a very long-term project. And you want to know, you want to get to know the person. You want to get to know the person. So also, for example, before working with clients, I don't just like, I don't even have it openly that anyone can start working with me directly. I always have the pre-interview, right, where I get to know the person a little more, that I want to know, do can we actually work together? Do we like each
Chemistry.
other?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to match, right? So yeah, the psychology part is a big one. and and also look at, for example, his past. So what are the challenges that he overcame in his life? What is his personality type? How can we create showcase his personality in a winning angle, on a winning angle online, publicly? So for example, right, you have your strengths and you have your flaws, but do you want to hide your flaws, or do you actually want to make them open? Because flaws are what make human imperfect, and you relate with me, like my audience relate with me because of the things that I'm imperfect. So there are flaws, for example, which we want to showcase publicly, versus there are flaws which we may not want to showcase publicly. So there are a lot of aspects which are interesting to look at. But when you start posting, you after we are done with all the work and we actually work on the content, this is where they're like, oh, okay, so we talked through that. All right, now I know, now I can share this story, but I don't want to for example, talk about that one aspect, and etc., right?
Okay. Yeah, you're very passionate about your job, and I like this. Being passionate, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. You're very passionate and you speak passionate, and I like this in every person that has to do with people. What is the most difficult part of your job?
The difficult part, I think, I suspect, right, I haven't had that yet, which I'm very thankful for. But I think the most difficult part is where uh, there is a damage in reputation which you could not foresee.
Okay.
I think that's a big part where there is a big risk, because Yeah, because what is personal branding, right? Personal branding does not only mean posting, it means also networking, it means organizing events, it means public speaking, it means network expansion, and it means PR, modern PR also, right? So in PR, what are we scared of? We are scared that bad publicity sometimes is a good publicity, right? And many
It
people support
depends.
it. Many people actually, I've heard so many, many people support also bad publicity just to get the attention nowadays in our controversial world. But this is, I think, the most difficult part, and I haven't had, thankfully, this experience yet. But this is something to look out for, right?
Yeah, it depends. If it is on purpose, then it's a good thing. If it is by accident and somebody is getting thrown stones at, then it's very, very, very risky. But let me ask you. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions so that you know, because I'm curious about this. Personal branding is about everybody in any positions, or is it only for C-suite levels, C-suite
No,
managers?
it's for everyone. It's for everyone who wants to stand out in the market, who wants, I always call it, take that pie or take that piece of a
The
pie
piece
of
of
the
a pie.
booming economy, right? The creator booming economy. No, it's actually not, right? This is the biggest mistake where I also see people think that it's only for high level entrepreneurs or like serial entrepreneurs or influencers, let's say. But it's not. It's for everybody who wants to stand out in the market. It's also for regular employees. Because nowadays, for example, companies, when they're looking for candidates, a person who has a following on his LinkedIn and he has his content where he shows his expertise, he shows his personality, and it's all public, they are going to prefer that person with an established personal brand versus somebody else who just has a CV or who has, I don't know, 200 connections on LinkedIn. So it is for everyone. It's your way to improve, to basically magnify your CV, to
Presence. Yes.
presence, yes, everything. So it is for everyone, absolutely everyone who is ready for it, right? Because I think many people also they want it and they're looking at the market, how things are developing, how things are growing. But I would say the urgency is there for higher level people, but all the others should join.
Yeah, but I'm asking you because I've seen a lot of wannabes, influencer wannabes, something wannabe C-suite level management teams, and everybody wants to be at the top without doing the right job. Because I believe it's very important to have somebody like you next to you in order to avoid mistakes and to have a strategy. I don't know how you're. Yeah, because I'm. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, 100%. Thank you. Thank you. That's these are very nice words that you're saying and the very good point that you're bringing up. 100%. Especially why? Why would you go and make mistakes? And that is in the end of the day, that is your reputation. Why would you go and make mistakes when you can just hire somebody who can help you with that?
I believe it's a little bit taboo in this society. It's taboo to in order to somebody else to tell you. It's psychology, as you said. Somebody else is going to tell you you don't know how to show yourself outside. You don't know how you should promote yourself. What are you? Are you stupid? But it's an art. I believe it's like politics. In politics, it's 100%. Every politician talks whenever he or she talks first with their public relations. Nobody speaks without having agreed what is going to be said. And I
Yes.
believe it's the same in your job. You can correct me if you want.
Yes, 100%, 100%, 100%. People don't know how different platforms work, or for example, who they are marketing. They're also starting to post without really thinking who is it that they're targeting. So many people I see, they're so extremely attracted to this Instagram, right? And all the beauty of it. But for example, business people, they are all on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to, yeah, to
Mhm.
if you're looking to attract business people, you do want to do it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there comes the word strategy that you said before. It's all about
Yes.
strategy, even knowing your target and knowing where you have to go. But most of the people don't know. Somebody, I was talking with my son the other days, with a friend of my son's. He's 19, and his friend also 19. And he said, how many followers do you have on Instagram? I have said 100, 200, something like this. He said, wow, only. I said, Facebook is for all people. I have nothing more. How do you have I have like eight something thousand on LinkedIn. And the answer was, what is LinkedIn? And that's the most important thing, to know where you should, as you said, Instagram is beautiful, but does Instagram sell? I don't know.
Mhm.
You are the expert. Does Instagram sell? It depends.
It depends who you're targeting. It all comes down to who you're targeting. And when we talk about, for example, founders, entrepreneurs, high level managers, they are not only interested, for example, in selling like a course or a program. They are also interested in partnerships, right?
Mhm.
And all the business is happening on LinkedIn.
We
All
leave
the business
Instagram
is
on the side.
happening.
It's everything that has to do with jobs is on LinkedIn. That's why we have also our online session now here on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Now, I wanted to ask you, how quick is your company growing?
You mean the finance part?
I mean the customers part, not the finance part. The customers. Let's talk about customers.
Yeah, the customers part, it's actually interesting. I've changed my strategy, and I told you I'm offering now more wider variety of things rather than when I was just starting, right? When I was just starting, it was, yeah, yeah, it
Just
was,
this.
yes, exactly. It was just this, but it wasn't so interesting for me. And yeah, it was basically a lot of repetition. And also when it was with different people, I like, since you already know that I've changed a lot of departments in my life, moved countries, and etc. I like change. And with my business, I changed as well. When I was just starting, it was small with the strategy, LinkedIn strategy, content strategy, the psychology strategy. Then I developed it into the members area and like the whole online program. Then I created the system for content generation and the course to it. Then I have expanded into networking part and expansion of the network. And then now I'm expanding it also into events and into influencer marketing. So because I like change, I like a more in-depth service. So what I'm doing is customer wise, it's actually less. So for example, before I used to consult many people, but fewer hours. Whilst now I prefer to take projects for like 3 months, 6 months with fewer people and work deeper with them whilst building up the network for future projects. This is what I this is what I found is more interesting for me and has more value in terms of what I bring to the client compared to, for example, just like small strategies and small coaching.
Yeah, because it needs time in order to see the outcome of everything that you do. Everything needs time, and as you said before, yeah,
I'm saying personal branding is a life journey. So when you have clients, you can also work with them for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
yeah, because you said the word change. I changed my strategy. I'm calling it growth in business.
Mm,
And as a person, you always grow. Um, it's you see the market, you see the what is missing, the gap, as you said, and this is how you should do it. Everybody that is going to do something interesting, because you're doing something very creative. Let me explain what I'm telling you, because I don't know, not that you don't understand it. I don't know if I don't explain it well. It's very creative in order to put somebody on the stage and tell him or her what to do. It's very creative. It's the other end of being in accounting.
mm, yeah.
And the most important thing is, I can see that you love being with people. We have discussed like 2 times now about everything, long discussions and everything. And that's what I wanted to discuss also with you online, because I believe you can bring value to everybody that wants to grow.
Thank you very much. And that's what I'm saying. I think I phrased it differently, right? I didn't change it because I still have all everything, all the work that I have done at the beginning. I have it now in courses, in digital files, in my content, so it's all available. But what I do is I want to grow more and I want to provide more services. And now, as you said it, for example, now when a client comes to me, I don't anymore say that, oh, no, actually, I focus only on this because I'm interested in undertaking new projects and I'm sure they'll be amazing. And when I, for example, close new clients, I always am open. I ask what they need and I say what I can provide. I am creative, it's true, and I love doing new things. So, so yeah, this is where, and personal branding is huge topic. Is huge topic. You can specialize in so many areas. And yeah, for me, my specialty is I like to take all the different kinds of projects and also work with all the different kinds of people because I like this challenge and doing new things.
Can you share a funny story that happened on personal branding without telling any names?
Um,
If you want to.
Funny
If
story.
not, I can tell you a story, but I'm going to tell it to you offline.
I hear so many stories, right, from the people with whom they share with me funny stories, but they're more stories from the private lives and the things that happen, not from our work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to ask you this. Funny stories, it depends on what funny is. People usually, if you're talking with your brand manager, the branding of a company or whatever, he knows everything about you. He or she should know everything, because as we do in coaching, it's the last question that stands. It's, why do you want to have a company, or why do you want to be the branding of your company? Because there's always one answer, and the answer should be, because I want to be famous, because I don't know. Every people who says, yeah, you are smiling because you are remembering now things. um, what is it that you believe, should people do in order to start believing in themselves and doing what you are offering? What
Yes,
do you want to tell them?
I really like this question. I really like this question. Actually, a lot of people, when I say, because you want to like do your sales call and ask them questions like, what is it that you're looking for? Are you looking for business growth? Are you doing it for personal reasons, and etc.? And I've gotten a lot of answers when they just answer, well, I see everybody else is doing it, so I guess I have to do it as well. Just like that, very bold. And yes, and when we actually come to work together, because we work through the psychology part a lot, this is where my I'm working there on asking all the different questions to understand them better, to go deeper, to make them understand themselves better, to develop their confidence. This is where they start feeling like, actually, I feel good now. Actually, there's a lot I can share. Actually, I didn't know that that would be interesting for my audience. Because also, for example, so many people have very unique knowledge, very unique experiences, right, in their life. But they don't see that this is unique until somebody else pointed out to them, right? Because everybody has a different story, and for them it's a normal story, whilst for somebody else hearing them talk from another part of the world, they will be like, wow, I can learn so much from you, right? Just like a simple example. And the same is with skills. So many people come from all the different jobs or the fields that they have worked, and they have all this mixture of skills which can be amazingly put together into a product or into coaching, and they don't see themselves. Or people from the corporate, they think that, oh, I'm just a corporate professional and I just did I just worked hard to get a role that I got. But what they don't realize is that their experiences parallel to that are very, very interesting, and they can teach so much to their audience, apart also from, for example, professional qualifications and professional skills, but rather a lot of soft skills, stories, and etc., personal challenges, right? This is, for example, where I work with my clients on positioning. So when you start your personal brand, do you go there and present yourself as an expert with like 20 years of experience? Or do you instead present yourself as, for example, a person who is just on the way to learn something new, and you're bringing your customer, your audience, to learn it together with you? Or, for example, do you go there and present yourself as a person who doesn't have a professional qualification, but instead wants to share how he overcame a certain challenge based on his experiences, right? He's not qualified in the field, but he just wants to share it with the audience because he thinks he could do it, so others could do it without the professional degrees. And all the ways, there are all the ways possible for everyone. There's just like, you want to choose the one that is suitable for you.
What do you believe is more efficient of those two that you just said? Because I'm going to share afterwards when we are offline the story about somebody in Greece that said I was this and now I'm that, and everybody's going after it just because he overcame something. What do you believe is more important? It depends. What do you believe is more important? Having the skills or overcoming something and sharing?
No, I am all about, I always think the skills are can be taught, but the character and the personality and the resilience, that's what comes with life, right? So for example, also for the company now, there's a trend when people are looking for employees, they're always focused on skills, on professional qualifications, and etc. But so many now prefer employees who have a better personality, who are easier to work with compared to those who have better skills, because skills can be taught. And to answer your question, for example, yes, I think it is more interesting when a person is sharing something that he overcame rather than what he just learned from his university or from his career experience.
Yeah, it's because we people like to say, if he did it, I can do it.
Yes, true.
Yeah. Yeah. The last podcast that I had was with a Paralympic, with Tanya Karamida. She was diag- diagnosed 2022, I believe. I cannot remember the exact. Um, she's a Paralympian, and I'm always telling her, you are shining bright because you are still smiling. It's exactly that what you said. She's still smiling after everything that she went through, and she should be a beacon of hope. But she doesn't see it. She doesn't understand it, as you said before. And
Yeah.
people, yeah, how can we change this? Can you give a tip of something about people, except of coming in and working with you?
They should just look at their life and look at their try to just like take a piece of paper and a pen and look at their life and remember it. Remember all the turning points in their lives that they've had, right? The bigs and downs. So how I like, for example, how I work with my clients is that I always imagine that we have our life and it goes like that, right? It's always black and white. There are ups and there are downs. And I want you to remember all the ups and all the downs of your life. And literally remember them by year, by the situation, like what happened in your life at that high point and at that low point. How low was it? How high was it? And what happened? And what did you learn from that situation? And what skills have you gathered through overcoming that part? And these are all the stories that you can share. These are all the things that make you special that others haven't had. And these are all the things that could be interesting for other people to hear.
That's a small piece of what you are doing with people, correct?
Yeah, it's not one small exercise.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you said the magic word. You said exercise. Because like 1 week ago, I had a workshop, and I said everything is about exercise in life. It's like nothing comes easy, but we we usually forget about. I'm going to tell you an example. I'm always telling somebody, is it easy for you to walk? And everybody said, yeah, of course. Is it easy for you to walk? I'm asking you now, Christina. Is it easy for you to walk when you were 5 months old?
No,
1 year?
more or less starting, I think,
Two,
one step
three, four,
better,
five?
better.
It's exactly the same thing with learning, with eating, with reading, with writing, with walking. Exercising and training is number one. Nobody knows anything from the beginning, and that's what I say to everybody. You should start something, and after a while you will see you are going to be better at it, whatever it is. And that's why, yeah, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to say 200%. 200%. You don't learn by studying books, you learn by doing.
Yeah, even if yeah, books help. Okay, if you take the theory, yeah, in the next 3 to 5 years, we are not going to. I was sent an invitation about an AI for hospitality that is going to do the SOP, standard operation procedures, of everything as being a manager. I said, wow, they are getting out AIs in order not to have managers. But the thing is, as you said, it's all about people.
Yeah, especially in that industry. hotel industry, touristic industry. It's all about people.
Not only in this, everything is about people. If you think it, I tend to think without any complications in my mind. I'm trying to think as simple as I can. At the end of the day, every company that is being created is created from people, with people, for people.
Very good point. True.
And it's all about people. It's not about AI, it's not about anything. But the thing is, some people don't like people.
Yeah. Too bad. Too bad for them.
Yeah, but it depends of if they have the money or not. It's not about
Yeah, also true.
now. What is it that you want to share with everybody else or with me about what you find more interesting about your job? It's not a job, actually. It's I don't like saying that it is job. It is if you do something that you love, it's not a job. It's like playing time. It's like enjoying yourself all the time.
Yes, you said it correctly. I also don't like to call it a job. I don't like to call it a job. I left my job not to do this as a job.
Correct.
Yes, I love people and I love working with people. That's the biggest part which I think I love the most. I love hearing stories. I love talking to people. I also like business very much. So when I can and social media, of course, content creation, I'm very creative. So when I can combine working with people on business and combine it with content creation, that's the best. And hearing people's stories, these are super interesting moments. I've heard so many people's stories, and that is very, very interesting.
The thing is, I always say there are two kind of jobs: the boring ones and the creative ones. Not any job is ever for everybody, but just for if somebody is creative, then he or she likes. He's creative, and you are that kind of person that has a lot of creativity, and I hope that we are going to work. No, I don't hope. I'm sure that we are going to work in the next 1 year together, and we are going to do something very special. I don't know where, but we are going to do it. I don't know if it's a workshop or I'm coming to Germany, you're coming to Greece, or we are both going to the US. I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm sure that we are going to do it.
Super excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. You are afraid. You're not excited. What's this crazy dude talking about?
No, I'm very
Something
excited
good.
about it. Super duper excited about it. Two hands up.
Yeah. Now, do you understand that we are talking for 54 minutes?
It's a nice talk. It's a nice talk.
Okay. If there is a suggestion or something that you want to tell somebody that wants to start building their personal brand, what is your recommendation about it?
If they want to start it by themselves, I would say the first thing that everybody should just do directly is to just like make their social media clean in a way that it reflects what they do now currently and represents themselves from the best angle, because you never know who visits your profile today. Tomorrow there'll be a person who may have uh, could have played an important role in your life, and you could not impress him because your profile was not reflecting who you are as a person. But I would say before actually starting to post, I would actually want him to just like do a little bit of work on himself in a way that what is his vision? Where is he going in life? Does he want to say, for example, in corporate? Is he looking to grow his business? Is he looking to change fields? Because based on his life plans, this is where you want your personal brand to go, right? There are some changes that happening on the screen. Everything good?
Everything is good.
Yeah. Yes. So
You
I would
you see everything. Nothing. Nothing. I cannot hide anything from you.
no, because it just like touched my attention. But yes, this is what is I would say the most important is just like make your social media clean and good, and then think about your vision. Where do you want to go in life? Where do you want to work? Because also there's another part, right? Personal branding can actually also help you transition the fields. That's a big thing that people are not seeing is that if they're looking to transition their jobs, their business, before actually doing the transition, they can start posting. Yes, they start posting, they prepare all the content, they actually have online proof that they know what they're doing, and then they can then change the jobs or start their business or whatever. But you can start doing it online before doing it in real life. And personal branding gives you the opportunity to jump from one field to another. So the vision is the most important when you go into personal branding.
And after you finish with knowing your vision, cleaning up your social media, you call Christina, and she's going to help you more in order to achieve your goals. Correct?
Everything, everything.
You see. Now, I would like to thank you very, very, very much about this conversation, and I hope people are going to enjoy it because I'm very picky with who I'm talking. And it's all about, as you said, about chemistry because now people are going to see 1 hour. We have discussed like 3, 4 hours about what, who you are, who I am. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for sharing. And thank you very much for being a good professional.
Thank you so much for your nice words and for this invitation. And I've had a very nice time, and we've had an amazing talk. And yes, and also thank you very much. Really happy
Thank.
to have had
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if it's going to bring anything else, but about customers or whatever, because genuinely I like speaking with people that I appreciate their opinions. It's so simple about me, because if you have everybody, I had like discussions with people that wanted to promote their jobs, their brand, their whatever. At the end of the day, I like having conversations because nowadays it's very difficult to if you hear people speaking, it's like about bad things, about how awful everything is, uh, and nobody's talking about the positive side of life. And I like people that are positive.
Yes,
You're one
I'm
of
the,
them.
I'm the same actually. I'm the same actually. I'm very attracted to positive people and having good talks, sharing knowledge, sharing stories, sharing good energy.
Good energy. It's the most important thing. Now, thank you very much, everybody, for being with us. Christina, thank you very much for being with us and making our evening very, very, very interesting. So that everybody now can start thinking of promoting their own brand.
I was very happy to join, and thank you all for staying till the end and for inviting me and for having me on the podcast, right? We had a very good talk, and It was fun.
Okay. Thank you very much. See you next time and enjoy your night.
Thank you.